How much you charge for that? Well, they send you the sneakers and I charge them $400. I stay busy with everything.
So we got to work together to make it great. So I got to listen. It is go time. I hope it's go time for you. Membership or something for you to get in there?
Yeah, you have to.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, everybody. We are here with another episode of the Vet Green Show. And tonight, y'all, Ernest, tonight, Sierra, tonight, everybody, I have a very, very, very special guest. This guest, I have been manifesting a conversation with her ever since I saw her on another show, and I was just so taken aback by how profound she spoke and just what she had been able to overcome. And I had met her, well, actually I had seen her and got motivated by her prior to me seeing her story. So it was to my surprise, everybody, when I heard her story, Catlinda, Sierra, when I heard her story, that she was able to overcome so much and still do what it is that she does. So today, y'all, I am very, very, very happy to say we have the MC Queen Solar coming to the stage. So come on up, Queen. How are you today?
I am well. How are you?
I am well, blessed and highly favored. So happy to have you here with me today. So go ahead and introduce the listeners to who you are. We are also live over here on TikTok. So let them know who you are.
All right, TikTok fans and everybody across the globe. My name is MC Queen Solar. I'm known as the community's daughter. I figured the best backdrop to kind of help me is the one that's behind me, author, artist, or influencer, two-time author. And I am also, I like to say I've survived a lot of things. You got your book. I got an autograph.
I started reading my book.
Oh, no.
Very, very good book. I started reading my book.
Oh my goodness, shadow time. And most recently I add to my testimony that I am a dog bite survivor. You know, I wrote as you see over there, Cast Iron Omissions was my memoir where I was able to overcome domestic violence and just life and understanding life. And then most recently, when I ended up in the emergency room, what a testimony to this whole event. I was asked, are you going to journal this? I was like, I'm already in the 23rd chapter. I was like, what you talking about? I was like, I wrote the book already, So that's where I am today. At August 12th, changed a lot of my life.
So let's start with August 12th, because I've seen you out in the community, and every single time, whether it was on stage or if we were dancing in the Buffalo Kitchen Club, you are always just this ray of sunshine, this beam of light, this beam of hope. And then suddenly on August 12th, your life changed again. And I'm saying again because you've overcome so many other things. But let's start with what happened August 12th. How did your day start that day?
Oh gosh, it was beautiful. If I really want to paint the beautiful picture to give you a full view, as we said, I call this rated R for real. On August the 11th, that was a Sunday, I actually had a photo shoot. I'm with JVM Records. I released the album. I'm like, okay, guys, let's update some photos, get ready for the winter. I go over to the park, get me some crab legs, do the photo shoot, lock into this hotel room and start talking to God, get up the next morning, still locked in. I go to slow roll after I check out,
So it was a nice weekend. Was this a weekend?
Yes.
Okay.
Monday. Slow roll is Monday. So that Monday was August 12th. And I tell the importance of the Sunday prior to, because we had Gospel Fest, but one of my favorite vendors was there. He knew I was coming. Big Daddy's, he had them crab legs, smoked crab legs, right? So I got those, went to the photo shoot, and that's what I feasted on as I locked in. I was like, okay, Lord, what do you want? What are we doing? Why am I locked into this beautiful room with my jacuzzi? I love it because it was best price. But that morning I woke up and I heard from him, right? And he was like, all of you. I was like, oh. So then that evening, you go to slow roll, and I'm hosting, and like you said, I'm dancing, the bike ride. That particular Monday was right in front of City Hall with DJ King Shot. We out there having a great time. My favorite DJ, I remember it was for the homeless. They, talking about how they can help with the homeless shelter and the hostel. That was and I went home. But I was hesitant to go home that night for some reason. So I stopped by my nail girl's house. I'm like, listen, I got to get these nails off for the wintertime. I got stuff to do. Closed out with her because I love Tony's nail barn. Kept my nails together, but I knew it was time to take them off. So I said, okay, I'm going to go home.
But something was holding you back.
That I was like, Monday, ain't nothing to do. We live here in Buffalo. I got home and realized that our rescue dog was really hurt. Right? We had the rescue dog for 3 years. At some point in time, we did try to, give him to another family. That's a whole nother story for a God-given day. So we ended up back with this dog, and his paw was hurt. So I remember sitting down. My son, I'm like, let me call my son. Come downstairs. You home? Good. Come downstairs. Right? Just got off the phone with my producer. My producer saying, call the vet. I'm like, all right, get off the phone, call him. As I'm calling the vet, petting the dog, and my little chihuahua was running around. My son sit there. I look. All I remember is a blue and a brown eye look back at me, and he locked into my face. Most people
sorry you have to go through that.
Listen, thank you. Most people recall movies where you go through a tragic incident and your body drop and your spirit rise. For me, I ran out my house and ran down the street.
You were in shock.
I was in shock. Total shock. All of this was open. My entire right side from my nose all the way to my lip was open. I did manage to tell my son, call 911. The dog was, not so aggressive where he knew to go in a cage, and we were able.
He had done something wrong.
He was hurt, and just speaking for what I've learned by speaking to other dog bite survivors, that could have been something. I could have said a word that triggered him to not knowing what this rescue dog has gone through, right, or heard fully, even though I've had him. But he's hurt now. So now he's in a different state of mind.
Right.
We omit that, cast iron omissions, right? We omit that. We are as humans, and we're like, oh, I've been through tragedy, so I act out. Hey, Teddy. Hi, I'm well. Thank you. But as a dog bite survivor, I no longer omit what dogs or other animals or humans go through, because hurt will hurt. Right? We always say hurt people, but hurt will hurt.
And animals' instincts they're instinctively set to survive. And if they're hurt, they're still set to survive. So I'm glad you were able to see it that way, because a lot of people would not have been able to see it that way. That's why you are such a bright light. You really are. So that happened, but yet and still, you still had the strength to go on video. I was on your website to go on video, and I do my research, because I prayed upon this, because I wanted to do this justice, because I feel like there's somebody on here, Kevin, Deneen, somebody on here that can benefit from hearing your story, hearing your glory, hearing what you have been able to overcome. Because I know for a fact it's done. I know for a fact that a lot of us, we think that we can't overcome these challenges that we have in our lives, but you've overcome health issues, including surgeries.
Yes.
You've overcome, the things you had to deal with, just in life in
I'm
general.
a mother of 4 young men. I've been a mom of
four black young men, four black men.
And yes, and that this instance grew them up overnight. I always remind them they inherited, because I'm like, this y'all house now, I'm out, deuces. One went to college, one moved back home to help out, the other one still working, the one grown with kids. I'm a grandmother, and I think what keeps me going is the reminder of the purpose, right? It's a constant reminder of purpose. I have lost women my age who have left behind children who never had closure or finished certain things in my prayers. Lord, you entrusted with me these children at least, right? And then he said, oh, if that's the child I'm going to trust you with, let me trust you with this, right? So then he trusted me as I'm learning with this dog bite. And I was like, man, got me. I done miss Funk Fest. I host Funk Fest. Like, I done rest of my season for Friday Night Live. Well, hold on. Right?
It changed your total mindset about everything. What in that moment, as you are starting the healing process, I know you had to go through so many emotions. I feel like when we go through life changes, I feel like a lot of those life changes is almost like a grieving process as well. Because you could not, the person that you were prior to that dog bite is not the same person who came up out of that. It would be impossible.
You would not meet her again. And it's funny because when she even tried to find her way back, it's like you don't belong. Just taking on the videos. It took me a minute to post some of those videos, right? And then I even got my doctor on board. I'm like, this is not my healing process alone. You're redoing my face. So let me take you through the journey through what this looks like, right? My first surgery in the ER was just to close up my face.
How long did that take?
I got there that Monday night. I went home sometime Tuesday, Wednesday. But when I did go home, I went home with nothing but stitches holding me together. In my face, face very swollen. And in that instant, I'm like, my job is my face. My life is me talking. I just released the album. I just dropped a video.
These are all the thoughts that were going through your mind, but the Most High obviously had a different thought.
Right. And that's why I always elaborate on natural and spiritual worlds colliding, right? But at the same time, I'm thinking of what we call these natural things. What you said is right. The Most High was like, yeah, but I need your attention. And I love you doing these things. Now that it was kind of like he showed me how he set me up. Like, I got you in front of all these people. Like, I went on a cruise and a video went viral last year. Like, I have exposed you to people, right? And claim my glory, right? And you wrote your memoir, right? And that's cute. And you've had this title, In the Shadows of Her Praise. But then the next surgery I go through, this doctor, I love my Dr. Fry, takes skin from the top of my forehead and says, I need to create and give you skin on your nose. Okay, Lord, like, you want me to have, and he always goes, but I'll give you the option. You can stop right there. You don't have to go forward with this. I'm like, you got jokes. I want Janet Jackson nose. I go in there with this, right? So we got to go through this, right? And he's on. And so when he does this, now I'm like, Lord, oh, this is the alien state that you told me back in the day when I was visiting Dima and them church, and I didn't understand the prophecy of alien. You're different. You're not of this world, right? And I'm like, I'm getting into it, but to have my skin from the crown, should I say it like that? From the crown of my head, and realizing that this thing is actually connected to the sole of your feet.
Mm.
So when I would walk, and even to this day, I feel everything.
Mm-hmm.
When this thing looked like a unicorn, I could touch my nose and feel my forehead. I
I
laugh,
believe it.
right? So in that state, you're alienated. You're alien. You're really on this ship. And I have to say it like this because I don't want to go outside. I don't want people looking at me.
Because you're a host. This is what you do for a living. This is you're out and about in the community. You are the face for a lot of different things. You are the face, and now all of these thoughts are going through your mind. How could I be that? And this is what I was called to be, but now this has happened. All of these emotions you're going through. How were you handling that? What was your mindset at?
Day one out the hospital, I started writing poetry.
To release.
Out the hospital, I started writing poetry. Day 3 out the hospital, I looked at the outline of In the Shadows of Her Praise. As the days went on, I found that I was saying I was healing through my arts, but I had to draw a little bit. Big shout out to my big sister, Catherine Roberts. She brought me this beautiful art set, and I'm drawing, right? I'm sketching out what it looks like. I post a little bit of that, but that's my time. My poetry, that's for a later date because I can't finish the poetry book, y'all, until I finish the last surgery. I'm not done yet. The revelation of being told what someone can't look at, right? So I'm posting these things finally in this stage, and I'm bold enough to do this. God sends you people who can look you dead in your face. He'll send you, as one of the preachers said, he'll send you your Joseph. He'll send you your Boaz. He'll send you what you need when you, right? So in this state, that's what God showed me. He said, you're alienated, but I really just want you to use the word separated. I got to separate you from some people, places, God bless you, and things. I really am going to separate you because you can't talk as much. You're not going to go out because this right here ain't, I was wearing, when I would go to the doctors, you would see it in some of the videos, I would wear a half hijab just to keep this thing that looks like a finger as it's grafting skin into my face. I want to be honest, I was a little scared. Like, how does this work? Will it work? Does it work?
God, what is my life going to look like after this?
What do I do after this? Like, will I be able to talk? Removal of that left scars that I will always have, meaning I still don't feel that. I still got a little stitch up in there. I tell people I know when something, this thing really is real from the crown of your head, right? So I'm relearning my body. I don't dance like I used to, not that I don't want to, but I don't want my cheeks bouncing. So gently, if you do see me out and I do embrace, I try not to. That's because your face has muscles and nerve endings that take so much time. I'm learning to heal.
You got to give yourself time to heal. How has this changed your outlook on life? Because when you go through things, it definitely changes your outlook, especially when you find that it could have been worse. Like it affected your face, but we hear about stories where people don't make it from, a dog attack, but you did.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was told that the dog must have loved me. Said that it just kind of prompted, I got so many, testimonies, but when you said that, I was told the dog must have loved you. It didn't go for your neck. It didn't come back and attack more. He didn't pounce, right? It changed a lot about me, that my no's mean no today more than ever before. My yes is divine yes.
Mm-hmm.
My walk, I've always been very like, okay, the community's daughter. And somebody said, what does that really mean? It's really a nice way of saying evangelism, going around spreading the good news. I just don't want to scare nobody if I show up in the club and, we have an all right time and you looking at me funny because I can cut a rug in the church too. I don't want you to be thinking that that part. It made me more clear on some things that I'll be announcing in the upcoming future about what I have to do for me. Right? I never have had it. I've been a mom since 15. I've never put me first.
Oh, Queen, I love you even more now. I love when I meet women or people in general that helps me understand me a little bit more. And in the shadows, definitely in the shadows of her praise is definitely because this is something that I feel a lot of us fight with. I also love the love that is, I love it because I'm like, what is going on, God? Like, what is going on here? Like you really sent this book for me. You really sent this book to help me understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So, but I want to ask you a question. So recently I had posted a video about church hurt because it's something that I had experienced, and I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, Funky Daniva, and he had spoke about church hurt. And then I also want to talk about just to couple that with the video of the young girl, the 15-year-old who had stood in front of the church, and she apologized for being pregnant. I was a teenage mom. I was 16 and pregnant. You just talked about how you were 15 and pregnant. So with taking all of that into account, have you ever experienced church hurt? And if you have, and if any of you have, what did that feel like to you? And how did you handle that? How did you maneuver back to
come on in the room? Come on in the room. Rated R for real. Cast Iron Omissions. My first book was really based off of a lot of church hurt. A lot of misconceptions, a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of here I'm coming to the church, I'm hurt. I don't want to leave the church because I'm hurt. What does that look like? Teenage mom, I was, been in church all my life, but somewhere around there, I was like, okay, I'll take a break and I'll think about Islam. In the first book, you'll see me talk about, what do you mean be the wife? I can't be the first wife. What do you mean? Like, what? Because your religion, what? Okay, let me get back to what I know. Let me get over to the church. Why are you jealous? Like, okay, I've got 4 kids, 4 baby daddies, and everybody wants to say something. Let's just fast forward to that, right? I've been asked to sit down because you got cheering. I'm like, so you mean to tell me I can't wave my flag because I got cheering? I done been married and asked to sit down with cheering.
Was she pregnant?
Right.
I was asked to get off the usher board because I was pregnant. I was a teenager, but I was pregnant.
And we get that, right? We get that. But what I've learned about church hurt, and witnesses will contest to this. I've gone to just about all of the 860 something churches in the city of Buffalo and traveled around the country around churches, right? I've gone to Islamic churches, Sunni Islam church. I kept the Shabbat for 13 years. Ooh. Talk to me, O'Reilly. Every once in a while, I like to visit the Catholic church. I got a little special one I like to visit, right? The fact that, and I saw the question that came up about muzzling the dog, but I'm going to say what you said, like, right? I'm going to use the word muzzle. When you muzzle the ox, you also kind of mess with the anointing. Church hurt kind of is what I looked at as muzzling the ox. I could never get the fullness of where I am now because I was getting hurt trying to figure out how to get over the things that hurt me or trying to get over the things that world that didn't make sense to me, and I'm running to the church, right? Because that's where we run. We ran to the church. We talk to the pastor, and we talking to the ministers, and we going to the meetings, and we got to tarry at the altar, and they slaying you out because you ain't right, and they gonna cover you up and then get you back and then douse you with oil and throw you back down. But at the same time, get into the other room and you walk up and they talking about you because you right. So this is what I say to how I have learned to get over church hurt. I don't run to the church. I had to learn how, especially in this situation, I couldn't run to the church. Who was going to take me to the church? And when they did take me to the church, it was the testimony. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I learned to run to God. I learned to put it with him. And if he sends the right confirming word or person to say I can trust, and I put it there. I've also learned to compartmentalize. If I ain't on the usher board, I ain't got no business doing what y'all doing on the usher board. So if I go to your church and I ain't in the choir, I don't really want to know. Let me break it down. If you my cousin and you got it out with you, I don't want it. And so if you my child in
business,
right. So I stay in a lane too, but I stopped running to the natural and I started running to my spiritual, right? I started running to what I believe to always turn out to be my saving grace anyway. I started running to when I prayed, I came with better results than being talked to. So when it came down to church hurt, I had to learn that before I can gain a relationship in a church, I had to gain a relationship with God. Friday Night Live on Jefferson was my church. Like we ate, we fellowship, right? And what people don't know is we also spent time anointing and praying and staying down there and pouring oil and making sure that God knew that we wanted him there. I think sometimes we run so fast to the church and ask for that anointing that we forget to anoint our house, and we run so fast to the church that we forget to pray over our children, and we run into the meeting so much that we ain't met in our house. And I'm guilty of that. I have been.
So have I, and so have a lot of us that's listening right now. We have definitely been guilty of that. I had to find and establish and know that I can have my own relationship with the Most High, God, whatever it is that you want to call that force. I had to find it on my own. And I don't go to church all the time, but on occasion I do go to church and I do have that feeling. But I know I can get that same feeling, and I'm not taking anything away from the church, but I can get that same feeling in my bathroom praising the Lord. I can, and I don't have to worry about somebody talking about me because oh, she was doing this that day, and oh, I remember this, that I remember when, and all this, that, and the other. Like that church hurt is real. It's really real, and it keeps people out of the church, and that's one of the things that bothers me a lot, especially when it comes to talking about the Most High, because I just refuse to put God in a box. I want to transition because I want to also talk about.
Go ahead, you just hit that. Don't put God in a box.
Don't put him in a box. I can't, Solar. I cannot, Queen.
Can I just tell you this real quick, and then please take us over, because I know we got I
don't know. Take
this happened, right? The reason I can really stand and testify that you cannot put God in a box is because I learned that through being the community's daughter, everyone in their separate beliefs sent well wishes, thoughts, prayers. It wasn't about their denomination. It wasn't about their church. It wasn't about what they had to think about me. People who I know didn't like me, literally, I know we had beef, like on say Facebook, like, like nothing real, but like, you don't like my stuff. You prayed for me though, right? The barriers was down. The people that I thought was the most closest to me, like this is why you cannot put God in a box, because God will use an ass or a dog, my bad, in this case he'll use a dog to change your name and show you that he cannot be boxed.
Bam.
He showed it. You can go, and the record speaks for itself. Go to my Facebook page and see if everybody on there is a Christian. Go to my Facebook page and see if everybody on there is a Muslim. Go to my Facebook page and see how many of my Sabbath keeping friends was praying for me just as hard as some of my over at the Catholic Church
or at the mosque.
The mosque. Listen, I had atheists be like, "Listen, Solar, I don't know what's going on with you, but you all right over there." So when you tell me about God is box, I have a thread of receipts that shows he's not in a box and he will not be mocked. Gone, girl.
Not at all. So let's transition into this book. Talk to me about this book. How did this come about? Talk to me about Gabrielle and Cold Spring. Okay. Make sure you all get the book. Get the book.
Oh my goodness. When this book came about, I held the title for 2 years and I did a workbook to it, right? Yeah, it started off as a workbook. It was not a story. It was like literally like in the shadow. Let's do this shadow work. Let's learn how to praise. Let's do these scriptures. So I did all of this work. And in June, my fingers just could not stop typing about this woman named Gabrielle, who I felt so connected to, who, you know, she's this secular yet saved, beautiful, I envision woman, very strong in her gifts of singing and reaching out. She's this mom. And then you have this Mr. Cold Spring girl. I don't know who, if I had to say that when this becomes a stage play, right? Because it's definitely got to hit the stage.
Manifested, yeah.
You know, I wonder who can play Mr. Cold Spring because he a bad brother, right? And it's not like these two are young to love, and it's not like these two are unfamiliar to love since. But when they dive in, I had so much fun realizing that I don't care how saved you are. If you forget about the sexy part of life, guess what? You're doing God and everybody else a disservice. So I have a lot of people who, you know, are afraid of even crossing over to the lines of saying we're holy in this because they think it looks one way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It looks like, oh my God, we're proper. But I'm like Sarah Jakes, take the wig off and let's see what we working with. So these fictional characters excited me to the point of looking at not forgetting God, but also not forgetting love and not forgetting wisdom and family and courage. And when I presented it to my publicists, big shout out to Bernie Taylor and Stand Still Publishing, who they did my first book with me. And I was like, listen, I got a book because I'm gonna send you this playwright. She like, just don't talk, just say your words. That's what my whole team tell me.
Now, I want to pause you for a moment because paint the picture of what is going on. See, she's being humble over here, but I'm not gonna let her. Paint the picture of what's going on because this book just came out.
Yeah, it's okay. So
and remember August 12th, what happened? Everybody, this book just came out and it is a really, really, really good book. It's a really good read.
This you calling me out, man. The picture is real. The dog bite got into the book. I'm gonna tell y'all that much. The idea of what it looks like to constantly overcome struggles. The book will allow you to live vicariously through these characters, yet examine yourself at the same time.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I want to read. At first, I want to read a piece off the back of the book. Mm-hmm. So, in the shadow of her praise, author Solar Ingram has gently crafted a roadmap to navigate through the reality of life's circumstances which led to the path of salvation. Though written in a fictional manner, it holds every bit of truth in and outside of life's confines that ultimately come to threaten one's livelihood, particularly in the wake of trauma. Oh my goodness, wherein so much is revealed. This body of work behooves the reader to take the inventory. Take the inventory, okay? So that when trials and tribulations arise, reactions won't be based out of fear, rather fortitude. Further, in the shadow of her praise, you will learn how to create an atmosphere of peace. Yes. Are you seeking peace, Rhonda? Are you seeking peace, Terry? Her. I want to. This is in the beginning, y'all. She writes. She's talking about Cold Spring. I'm gonna call him Cold Spring. I love that name. Unlike the other men in her life, Cold Spring sees Gabrielle for who she truly is, not just the talented singer, the devoted mother, but the complex, strong woman behind both of those roles. Now, what stood out so much about that is that I feel like as women, a lot of times that's what we want. That's what we're looking for. Like they say that men are looking for, this particular package, but for women, I think so many times this is what we want. We just want somebody that's going to love us for who we truly are, not, this made up fictitious person, but who we truly are. So what brought that out?
What I truly wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. I've been in relationship, yet as I got to know myself, I know, we always talk, what do you bring to the table, right? I had to learn that in order for me to bring something to the table, something had to complement that. And I was checking, as this is what they say, checking all the wrong boxes. I'm not, I'm like, I don't want to check a box. I want sincerity. I don't want something that I have to think that I create. I want something that God created and they see what God created in me and I can see that in them. So writing a male character, I wanted them to have separate paths, but although they have separate paths, Cold Spring comes to the table fully aware of what he has watched. So I want men to learn to be a little bit more observant. He came to the table understanding because he also engaged. And so there are times in the book prior to them getting together, you get a chance to see what that looks and sounds like. If you really sit down and get a good cup of coffee, you could almost smell what they cooking.
You can feel it.
Right. To write that male character, I wrote what I had to overcome being a domestic violence survivor. I had to realize I don't have to see all men the same. Writing his character also allowed me the freedom to reach out to my brothers and say, really, we may not always say it, but this is what we want you to see.
Yes.
We don't know how to show it, but we working on it. So writing that male character is what I desired. And as a Black woman who has gone through, period, right? You can drop the mic, gone through. I wrote what I believe I want my sons to be, what I want our society to see in our men. So that's what I did.
So how vulnerable were you in writing the character for Gabrielle, and how closely related are you and Gabrielle?
I'm every woman. It's all in me. Gabrielle was a trial to write because I didn't want to paint the same picture of cast iron omissions, right? You overcome, so you don't want that picture. But Gabrielle is relatable to my sister's circles. I put circles. And I'm not talking about the ones that I sit down and talk to. I'm talking about the ones that I see reaching for a Cold Spring and may not have the mindset of Gabrielle. The one that I don't need a man type, no disrespect. But that existing hardened woman, right, is what we're painted as. So for Gabrielle, I wanted to be vulnerable enough to say, that's who I am, really. Like
up underneath all of this armor that I'm forced to put on. It's not like I want to carry it around. I'm forced to put this on.
Because I don't, right? So, and the other part I will always say is that extended hand that you'll continuously, see in one shape or form throughout the entire work. I wanted to make sure that when the next time that God allowed me to even touch a hand, it was a hand that was extended, prepared by him.
Oh, I felt that. I want to take a moment because not only is she an author, she's a mom, she's a community advocate. She's also a songwriter, a singer-songwriter. I want to get into one of my very favorite songs that you wrote. Talk to us about your journey through music.
Oh, wow. I never thought that I would couldn't have told me I was going to do it like that. Like, I've always enjoyed writing poetry, right? And I've always enjoyed poetry to music. And I always have been a lyricist. The Regal Soul project was liberating.
Mm. Was it like a release of things that you have been, you know how we can sometimes, because we're going through some things, we kind of bottle it in. And as creatives, I know if I'm going or growing through some things, as soon as I get it out, whether I'm on here doing this or writing a poem or something like that, I feel better. It's like you have to release it. Is that what this body of work was for you?
It really was. It was that freeing of my mind, of knowing that, one, I can express my feminism, right? I became that whole project. I did a photo shoot in Charlotte. I didn't even do a photo shoot here. Like, I was blessed. Like, you want to come here and let me take pictures? I was like, sure. But I was determined to have a liberating. I had never been able to really release myself, so to speak, right? And that felt good, to talk about sex and still be able to say, yes, is this the best you ever had? Because you're kind of comparing everything. Or be able to say, if, the power of if, you know, if this was like that. We always go through that. But when I wrote this song and then had JBZ feature, and I was like, oh my God, the guy is real, you know, liberating. Mino Devil. Y'all don't know what I was going through. I thought I was in the 1960s. I thought that I was going to get lynched, and I was experiencing some things in my community that one day I guess I'll write the book about, or the movie, I don't know. But just know that modern day slavery and the mindset of it is real. When we cannot sleep on what they're doing to us in our communities. And when I wrote Mino Devil, I said I was raised by wolves. You knew me as a lamb before, but now I'm a ram with hooves. You know, that was sentimental in saying that this grew me up, and I had to tell that Mino Devil to get off of me. And when I went into the first song I really released on all different like levels and sounds was I Don't Care.
That is my favorite. That is the one that I want you to introduce, because I want to play that. It's so meaningful. The title, I Don't Care. The title alone, when I first heard you sing that in the Buffalo Kitchen Club, I was floored, just because I'm listening to the words. I wanted to hit my soul, like, speak to me. Speak to me. And this definitely speaks to me. So talk to us about, walk us through this.
I Don't Care was, I thought, a love song, right? But what I found out is I don't care about many things that have stopped me from caring about the importance. I'll give you the one example: the Blood Moon, Tops Friendly Market, Jefferson Ave, May 14th, 2022. I'm standing under this blood moon singing over what is now cleaned up, but still not flushed out, so to speak. And I'm saying, I don't believe that we were talking about the way that we was acting. So to me, I don't care. It's a sounding alarm that we're being natural, but you're taking us very pornographically. You're acting as if we're something that you really don't want to see. So you're hiding how you look at us. I Don't Care became a freedom chant once 514 happened for me and a lot of other people who follow that song, because it lets you know that right here in our community, we have to care about the things that matter and stop being sidetracked by the things that throw us off so quick.
Well, we are going to go ahead and introduce the song, Queen. We're going to go into that song. I want you guys to listen. Let them know where they can find your music at as well. This is one of my most favorite ones that you have on that album.
Thank you so much. Listen, you can listen to I Don't Care on all streaming platforms. Go to my website, my artist card, and everything is right there. Make sure you download, like, share. And of course, right now, I want you to listen to I Don't Care by MC Queen Solar on Regal Soul.
Here we go.
Why should I?
Get down to your throat.
DJ King Shy.
Man, he's another one that's anointed. What?
That's my brother, the Queen and the King. Listen, when I did that, it was like passing his. I'm so proud of him. Big shout out to him being A&R over at Vision Multi.
Yes, congratulations, King Shy.
I am a witness that he will make you do the work, because before I could get that beat and record that song, he was like, let me hear it. We were sitting in the car. He was like, let me hear it. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. He said, okay, come on. And then we produced it, and it just has elevated since then, you know, and it means more today than it did even originally about not caring. So that one, thank you so much, because that means so much, and it's one of the first. So thank you so much.
It's first off, the album is such a beautiful body of work. I Wasn't Ready is another good one.
Ooh, that's a grown folks talk.
Talk to us about this grown folks. I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready is like everything. It's the conversation of being honest when we are not in a mind state to be in a relationship. And when we're not mature in that fact, or when we expected it to be one way and you realize you wasn't ready for the real deal. You're not ready because it's mental. I wasn't ready for the things that he put in my head. I wasn't ready for the things he was doing in bed. I wasn't ready for the way that he was making me laugh. I wasn't ready for the things he was making me pass. Ooh, I've been saving.
Good, isn't she, y'all?
I was saving up to talk to you all day. I'm like, I ain't talking to nobody. I'm not answering the phone. I'm saving for the vet show.
You got it.
I wasn't ready. Also took it to the next level when I remember I always teased my dad, because when he first heard the song, he was like, that's what you're doing, because you know it got some. And when he saw the video, I remember the look on his face when Kevin M dropped the video, and JVM even said it, my record label and my video producers, when we saw the video come out and the song to the video, it showed why we wasn't ready. So if you have not saw the video, please, you can get the video on YouTube. You can go stream it on go to my website. Everything is there. Take a solar moment. Pick how you want to take your moments.
My goodness. Look, we were going to play the song, but I think we are going to try and get the video up here because I want to see it.
It's so dope because it was impromptu. Big shout out to Michelle from Justice Success. Just imagine every Friday I used to get dressed. I get dressed. I'm saying it because I'm still going to be doing it. I used to get dressed on this particular day in her van. So I was like, listen, I'm gonna shoot a video today. Auntie Marnetta done said yes. Friday Night Live, y'all gonna all be in the video. So I need to wear something video ready. And I'm gonna have a boyfriend. I've been always claiming this boyfriend. Y'all gonna see me get married one day soon. Watch.
I know that's right. Claiming it. Claiming it.
Every day. But I remember this particular Friday, the video, all of my crew got there. Michelle got me dressed. And I love this video because it was impromptu from the opening. Sha gave me an opening, but the video from the opening, you're on Jefferson Ave. You get to see what it was like, and there are no actors in this video. I didn't have to pay. Thank you.
Is it on now? Which is it? Where
it is on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and get.
Is it on Take a Solar Moment?
It would be.
Okay, let me see.
Or you can just type it in because it's Regal Soul has its own. I know, right? Yeah, it's Googleable. That's what I said. When you take a solar moment, it's Googleable. The other thing I like about the video is had the opportunity to work with the companies on Jefferson. Like we went into the cigar bar and they let us just set up. And I was like, yeah, we just gonna like everything was that day of shooting.
Let me see. Take it. I'm gonna take a solar.
If you go to YouTube and type in Regal Soul, you should be able to pull up I Wasn't Ready. Or if you go to YouTube and type in I Wasn't Ready. I try to make it real easy for everyone. But I Wasn't Ready. The lyrics in that song came from recognizing that, for one, I miss lyrics in songs. It's words in songs. I like sounds, but it's nothing like words and storyline. So I like people on the storyline. And I feel like when the video complemented everything about the storyline, I know. How you doing over there? I see your eyes. You are your eyes.
I got it. I found it, y'all. I'm excited. Look. Go ahead and introduce the song. I wasn't ready.
All right. Is that the song or is that the video? You got the video?
I think this is because one YouTube created, the other one is
go right down. MC Queen Solar, I Wasn't Ready. Right there. That's the video. All right, y'all. Here it is. I wasn't ready. All I can say is just watch the video. You'll hear the story.
Take a second for a solar moment. Take a second for a solar moment. You better own it. Information flowing, the queen so focused. So take solar moment. Let the sunshine guide your way.
At Friday Night Live, every Friday 13.
Embrace the warmth, let it stay. Yeah.
Oh wow.
You better own it. Information flowing, the queen so focused. So take solar moment.
Now welcome into my world.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. Come on. I wasn't ready. Wow. Well, I'm the new girl in the new town with him. He was talking about how he wanted to fix my hair. What? Looking like someone was coming and thread. I thought it was the things that he put in my head. He came closer, his aura like no other, I said. I thought it'd be the one that I'd be giving some head. But instead, he said, let me back up. Cause if not, he might think I was a slut. I wasn't ready for the things that he put in my head. No, what he was doing in bed, he was making me mad. I wasn't ready for the things he was making me pass. What? He was gassing me up. I wasn't ready for the things he was making me suck. He was coming to town, wasn't ready, cause I knew he was putting it down. I was not ready. So take notes, better watch out when I said I wasn't ready. Well, I was ready, but I really wasn't ready for this. I had to slow down, I had to dismiss the fact that I was spinning, I was flowing real good. Oh yeah, I recollect that his loving was smooth. Thinking about the things we could do one day, the potential of the fact that he was looking my way. What? He had me feel how I'm feeling, calling me baby. He psyched me up and I was giving it up. And the fact that I was spitting, it was never enough. It was too much, oh yes, my love was too tough. Now here I go, spitting again, I give up, I give up, I give up, I him up. I wasn't ready for the things that he put in my head. Nah, what he was doing in bed, she was making me mad. I wasn't ready for the things he was making me pass. What? He was gassing me up. I wasn't ready for the things he was making me suck. He was coming to town. Wasn't ready cause I knew he was putting it down. I was not ready. No, I wasn't ready. Come on. I was not ready. Now, here we go. It's the same scenarios. This is how it goes. I'm telling you, you must not know. That love can make you do certain things. I don't know how you hide behind the rain and be the one who be giving it up. And if you're not in love, then what the what? See, he was doing him and I was doing me. I don't even know how we act like it wasn't more than 3. I wasn't ready for the things that he put in my head. Nah, what he was doing in bed, see, he was making me mad. I wasn't ready for the things he was making me pass. What? He was gassing me up. I wasn't ready for the things he was making me suck. He was coming to town, wasn't ready cause I knew he was putting it down. I wasn't ready.
Fun to be continued.
I love it. That was definitely a grown folk song, y'all. That was definitely a grown folk song. What gave you the courage to just write your thoughts out like that?
I've always had it when it came to writing. I think it was just finding my courage to say it out loud, right? Because you write in your diary, though. You know, we write in our journals. We say it in our head, or But I was like, no, I feel like somebody else need to know that they just got played, or they wasn't ready for the things he was putting in their head, or what. And a lot of times when my young girls hear, they're like, "What was you sucking?" I was like, "My teeth." Because I was imagining I missed the opportunity.
You're not ready. You gotta ask, you're really not ready.
Right. And now you see that's another. And then if you look at it and you look at the book as you have, it also was kind of like to be continued, because I didn't realize it preluded into Cold Spring and Gabrielle in some ways, right? I can kind of play off of that because that was a softer side of me. That wasn't the power to the people Solar. That was like the, oh, okay. And I had fun with the softer side. Just to make a good funny, because big shout out to Adri V and Michelle at that Dress to Success tent that day. I was literally telling her, get ready because he about to walk over. So y'all got to act like y'all, because no one knew. So I had fun with not being ready, right? So that's another thing. We always caught off guard in life. And that video was done in a way that made me remember to embody that. I didn't plan on going to the cigar bar, but since you met me here, babes, let's go inside. I didn't plan on walking in front of the motorcycles or past John Elmore and all of my community folks, but since we here. And them waist beads, y'all stop playing if you don't know what waist beads are. They are not to keep your weight.
What? They're not to keep your weight.
No. I love Baba Ing, everybody down there at Allen Street Connection, because they taught me a long time ago. Waist beads are from an African tradition of freedom of your sexual liberation with your husband. So the more waist beads you wear, it's supposed to symbolize your husband saying, "I let her choose how she can get in on the choices." It is not because you want to. It's not just fashion. Nowadays they have made that. But I asked Mama D before I actually put these on a long time ago, right? I was with her and I was married at the time. She said what it was is, do your husband allow you to choose your positions? Do you have freedom to enjoy sexual relations? Remember, in some African tribes, you don't. In some, you don't.
Right. Some cultures, you just don't. You have to be submissive and just, there's no. And let me ask you this while we're on, because have you ever found, even in friendships or talking to other women, that some people are just, I don't want to say frigid, but some people are afraid to explore their sexuality, especially in our culture?
Yes. And that's another reason that I felt good when the video and the song lined up, because it did bring about circles of women. I got my dog bite circles, I got my women's group, I got some men group, just to encourage my brothers. But for women especially, I encourage you to allow yourself to be happy. I am a overcomer of molestation, sexual abuse, domestic violence, and I've seen so many women shut that part of their life down or close it out because they have been hardened or so far abused. But one of the things I had to know is, in order to take back my right, I also had to take back my body. Right. In order to take back my body, that means I had to do a lot of mental work. It's okay for my hand to be held. It's okay for someone to tell me I was beautiful. I think I used to cover up so much of me. Not saying that I want it all out, but I'm saying, like, even the informed fitted, I covered up so much because I walked with shame, and I didn't even recognize for years that that's what it was. But once I began to embrace and understand that my body is my temple.
Yeah.
I have a choice in this body, and I get to love it. I encourage women to be as sensual as possible. And believe it or not, it's less stress on your body when you okay. What do I mean by more sensual, so to speak? It's okay, let somebody open the door for you and say thank you. You ain't got to screw face everybody and say good morning, beautiful. It ain't like, imagine now if I tried to screw face somebody with this face I got this so reconstructed. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So
I think as women, and especially as Black women, that we have to allow ourselves the room to grow from out of that trauma, because unfortunately, 1 in every 4, and this is for Black women, 1 in every 4 Black women or women of color have been abused in some shape, way, or form. That is so tragic, but it also has hardened many of us. I see it all the time. That's why it's so difficult for us to get along. And I feel that that is one of the main reasons why, because we carry so much trauma with us. We carry so much hurt and pain with us. We don't know how to let it go. We don't know how to put it down. We just want to carry it because we think it's ours. But I'm on a mission, y'all. I got to release some of this stuff. I got to release some of it. Holding it on is not
help you. It's going to help you release some of it, because it talks about atmosphere setting, right? I see you like your atmosphere, but dedicated atmosphere setting. Is some questions in the back of that book. So the workbook did make it into the book. Yeah, the workbook made it into the book. So it's not just reading about the fictional stories, but I'm hearing you say, how do you let it go? One, I always encourage compartmentalizing. Everybody ain't got to be everywhere to everybody and everything and at every time. I used to think that all of it was mixed up.
I received that.
Yeah. In this season, everybody can't handle my healing. Like, sorry. So unfortunately, we could have been the best of bosoms before this happened, but a broken promise right now could trigger me. So I don't even want to be around that, right? I have learned that it's okay for me to be a little bit more guarded, right? When you talk about compartmentalization and healing, if I don't feel good today, I don't feel good today. I am not going to make myself feel good for your inconvenience. I'm not going to open up my gates to allow negativity to come into my space because you deem a conversation or something more worthy, right? And I'm learning how to speak to that. Advocate.
Do you think, not to cut you off, but I do want to ask, do you think that part of that came with what happened to you in August, but some of it also came with the experience of everything that you've gone through? Do you think that's what brought you there? Because I feel like now, as I am, getting older, I just recently lost my mom in July. After I lost my mom, I felt a different level of adulthood, if that makes sense. Like you feel a different level of maturity, or at least I felt a different level of maturity. And I feel that I am getting, like, your age gets older, but I think it's really the maturity and the experience
All of
that
us don't live
matters.
at the same time. All of us don't eat meat at the same time. All of us don't start walking at the same time. So it did come with maturity. Some of the wisdom that I got, I had to learn the hard way, But I will say that when God trusted me with this, I can stand on being fortified. I can stand on somebody saying, okay, that's what fortitude looks like. That's what making sure that you're built up enough that you can handle the things that come at you a little bit more. Maturity also comes with choices, right? I could choose to be in a slump with this. I could choose to, you could choose. I've watched you and prayed for you very closely since your mother passed. You could choose to just give up. You can choose not to do your calling. You can choose to not get out of bed. But at the rate you make the choice to live, you also made a choice to say that I'm going to get closer to my purpose. So many people give up because they don't choose to try to walk closer to their calling, or they don't choose to want to accept the truth about their purpose. So that maturity comes with choices.
There was something you said earlier about us taking hold of our spaces, just like being in that space and creating in that space and allowing that creativity to heal you. I feel that even after my mom transitioned over, that this is a part of not only my calling, but it's also healing me. So I say that to say, as you are healing, Queen, what more can we expect from you? And yeah, what more can we expect from you? Because I know how this healing thing goes. Listen, the more bumps and bruises I get, the more creative I get.
Living in the stream of creativity. Coming Monday, I'm so honored that the Michigan Avenue African American Heritage Corridor, can't say the whole name all at once,
I'm going to bring it
are
up on
blessing me with a book launch, right? So notice,
Congratulations.
thank you so much. On Martin Luther King Day, on Inauguration Day, on everybody's day off from 11 to 1, right? So Monday is a big day because I have so much history in the corridor. Like, I've been an Underground Railroad tour guide. Like, that corridor is part of my history, my story. And I, for the first time, am being curated. So it was kind of like an honor to be asked to be part of this exhibit of oral history in a place where I grew up learning the history of Buffalo, and they're launching my book. Notice I've been dropping little seeds. My publishers and editor fronted and made sure this book got out to the masses. The came together over there in the corridor and got together to give the book launch. In the future, I am going to release Trauma, which is my poetry collective works that started the night of after this. I started collecting my poetry, writing it actually. So I heal in my art. So when it gets to a moment that I need to categorize in my head and put it on paper, so the book is called Trauma. The other thing you can expect from me.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry.
That's in the works. And we're looking at a release date because I'm like, I don't want to release too many things back to back, right?
Get release.
So that's the upcoming Monday flyer. But the other thing is, if anybody has ever had their identity stolen, have anybody ever gone through that type of situation and forgot about modern day fairy tales, I wrote one. So Queen Dorella will be out in spring 2025.
Gosh.
Yeah, Queen Dorella. I was like, you know what? This is showing me what it looks like to live a real life. And I think when I was challenged, Terry Davis challenged me. She was like, okay, I got you. Write a fairy tale about this. And I'm like, oh, about people taking your identity and lying about you and, everything but calling you a child of God. I can do that. And Queen Dorella is really a modern day fairy tale that I'm excited to get ready to tell, because we all have to see a beautiful, how can you say it, painted picture when it don't look so pretty, but you're royal. You're royal. but somebody done took your royalty, so you go to cash out. You know those things where they say your car don't work. How about your life ain't working because somebody else was living your life? Yeah, that whole thing is real.
Oh, well, I hope you come back with the book release.
Every single one. I will be back on your show. But right now, I just want everybody to join me Monday in the Heritage Corridor, the Michigan Avenue,
Pull it back up,
for the book launch of In the Shadows of Her Praise. My team is gearing up for it. I'm very, very honored to have Terry Alford, Audrey, and his entire staff over there curating this. And what does curating mean? When you go to an art exhibit and you see how they are placed and put up and timely and how it flows, that's part of an exhibit. And making my book launch part of this exhibit with Tiffany Gaines as a speaker, you will get a chance to really, really ask questions, hear a little bit about why I'm so connected to the corridor, but also come down and tell your story. So they'll be taking a few oral stories there. While if you got a 3 to 5 minute story, come on down 11 to 1 on Monday. And I'm just excited. I'm just excited. And go visit the website. For my website, all of that is there. And I do want to just say thank you to the few churches that have allowed me to give my testimony. I don't want to leave your platform without knowing that I've sown some seeds of words at Calvary and Saints Tabernacle. So thank you for allowing. And I look forward to speaking at other churches. And one more surgery to go. So yeah.
You got this. God, you got this. I think that you have poured so much of yourself into so many people that you haven't not even met yet. Like I had said earlier, I was following you before I actually met you, and I was starstruck. Literally, when you came into the Buffalo Kitchen Club, I was like, "Oh, there she is!" Just because it is not often that I meet women who are just so full of life and just so full of courage and have the audacity to get up each day and push through. You know, a lot of times, y'all, we give up. A lot of times we give up, but you are definitely not someone who has given up. You are an example of what it looks like, Queen Solar, and you continue to push on. God ain't through with you yet. God is not through with you yet, just like God is not through with any of y'all yet. Wow. January 20th, be down in the corridor. This is on
Broadway in Michigan.
Broadway,
Michigan. You got the Nash House, you got the Michigan Avenue Baptist Church, you got WUFO Power 96, you got the Colored Musicians Club, and newly acquired property at 118 Broadway at the corner of Oak. So that entire corridor is something to see. I used to be a tour guide in my past life, or actually, you know, so we could take a tour one day. I'll give you a whole tour of the Underground Railroad and how all of that coincides in that area. Very rich in history, very demure, very mindful.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I want to go to the the Colored Musicians Club has something going on soon. I think I saw.
They have something going on. It's still at a remote site for now, raising the funds because that entire corridor is being redeveloped. And so if anybody out there knows and loves rich African-American history and want to take part in how to get that area up and running, probably want to make donations, there is a way that you can do that. That information is available. But the Colored Musicians Club is still under construction. And what I'm going to love about that facility the most is that I remember when we used to have to push our elders up the stairs. It is now a state of the art. We're going to look at state of the art. We're going to look at how music started. You're going to get the history. You're going to get the digital. You're going to get the interaction. I am excited about that site, especially being so close to the radio station. So imagine the history museum that's over at the Vision Multimedia. So you can go to that museum and see how radio translate then. So it's just so much to offer over there. And then of course the Michigan Street Baptist Church. Oh, I can't wait till they're done with that. And I think they're already starting mini tours, but to go in there and see the history of how slaves were able to get to Canada coming through Buffalo. I get excited talking about it.
I love stuff like that, especially with the upcoming February is Black History Month. We're going to definitely be doing some things over here. Want to teach, because growing up, I did not get a lot of the history, the culture that we are seeing play out now. I think these kids are at such an advantage because they literally have everything at their fingertips. So I want to be a part of this movement of educating our children as well as us, because a lot of us, we don't realize how much we've done. You know, music, Sheila Brown. She is the first only black-owned radio station, and she's a woman in Buffalo.
Yes.
In
Atlanta, that's my mama. I've been with her since I was 15. That's my mama. I've been under her leadership since I was 15 years old, interning. Yeah, I have some great mentors in my life. I can't count them all. Alnisa over at the Challengers, one of my mom mentors. The list just goes on and on. Big shout out to Candace does my hair, because people like that pour into me. I mean, so when I say we have a lot of history, when I talk about hair, you don't know how many historical hair products and places stem from right here in Buffalo as well, barbers included. So we have a rich history when it comes to our culture, especially here in Buffalo, New York. So, yeah.
I always say, Buffalo is definitely my city, and Buffalo has the best food, the best food.
I've been eating. I'm cooking for the first time. Shame on me. For the first time tonight, because I took the weekend off. I'm trying to get my weight up before the next surgery, you know. So Friday I ate Manners, and that lasted till Saturday. And then I had a chance to go out to Fire Spot and get some, and that lasted. But you know, Buffalo is, I always say, if you want to travel the world through food, visit Buffalo, New York. We have food from every culture, every background, from you name it, Italian, Jamaican,
Bangladesh. It is so good.
Like, it doesn't matter.
My kids were here for the holidays, and they were talking about the weight they gained. I'm like, when you come back home, you're going to gain some weight. You can't help but gain some weight. Well, I'm going to leave everybody. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, Queen Solar. I really appreciate it. I cannot wait to have you back on the show. I have to pre-record another show. Y'all, this is me staying busy, staying out my head, doing what I need to do, because that's what my mama would want me to do. That is all this is, y'all. I'm in the movement, and I'm loving it. So y'all have a wonderful, 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 wonderful evening on purpose. Thank you again, Queen Solar. You let us know when your book is coming out. Make sure you guys grab the book. Grab the book. I love what you have, and I did not notice this. Keep track of your praise. What? Keep track of your praise. And is and will. It is. Oh, you're welcome, love. Have a wonderful evening on purpose. Y'all have a wonderful evening on purpose as well. We are out here.
This is a Green Links Media production. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now and hit the bell to be reminded when we go live.